Okay, we had the new parts come through from the factory. We'll get them on the car ahead of FP1.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another video and yet another episode of my F1 2018 career mode. Today we are here for round number 9 and the Austrian Grand Prix. Now if you guys did miss the last race for the French Grand Prix, then do check that one out by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of your screen. A controversial ending to a crazy race, but today we arrive here at Austria with a couple of upgrades in the car to improve weight reduction and also aerodynamics, and that does actually help us and maintain our second spot. We actually brought the exact same amount of upgrades as Toro Rosso and Force India. We're actually starting to get a bit clear now of Ferrari in the development race, and also Renault, Williams and Haas all pushing on to catch up to Mercedes, and it's a fierce development war at the moment. Everybody's really upgrading fast and things are going onto the cars sticking fast in this season. But as you can see, we are underway here for Friday practice in Austria for the first of 3 practice sessions. And to be fair, this was actually FP2. I went out in FP1 and it was actually wet. We did the track acclimatization in the wet session, but then we did the rest of the programs in FP2. And to be fair, the car felt great. I do quite enjoy Austria in this year's game. Overall, it's a great circuit, and if you've got a good car underneath you, it ultimately makes out for a great experience. And as you can see by the practice programs, all in all, the weekend was off to a great start. And to be fair, this is a strong track for me, so I'm looking forward to qualifying. But first of all, let's have another interview with Claire, and let's see what she has to say before the qualifier session gets underway here in Austria.
There are rumours that you're looking for a contract with another team. Is there any truth to that? How does a car handle in the wet? Do you have any worries going into the race and qualifying? Appreciate your time.
So we categorically deny the rumours that we're going to Ferrari, at least for now. You never know. Everyone loves to drive a Ferrari. Maybe one day it could happen, but for now, I want to make sure we succeed in this Red Bull challenge. It's been a really tough season so far in terms of getting the results we want, and we're just starting to see some end product. And going to this qualifying session, I felt confident that I could actually perform. Austria has been a track where I've won in the past. It's been a very good track for me. The one where I'd even say the AI aren't as fast as other tracks in some ways, and also I'm actually pretty quick around here. I think it's a bit of both. Almost like a bit of an opposite of Bahrain, and we've got some great pace around this circuit. So I'm looking to try realistically get Q3 at least, and then probably push on and try and have a good result in the race. But I do feel confident that even with the car that we have, we've got a great package here. I think I'm running 2 on the front wing, 5 on the rear wing, ballast on 7, and the car felt so planted and super stable. So I was very happy with the balance of the car, and the setup was working beautifully. Straight away in Q1 we went out on the ultra softs. We do go P7, a very good lap there and as an opener, and we are comfortably through into Q2 in 8th place. A very good session for us, and when we're comfortable in Q1, it's normally a sign that we have to pace. And in Q2 we went out on the super softs actually to try and go for a slower tyre. Lucky to not get a track extend there at the final corner as we go across the line and we come across P12 for the end of our first lap. So just on the cusp of the top 10, but now we're going to run on board for a full lap of the Austria circuit with the ultra soft tyres strapped onto the car. Straight away through turn 1 we gain about a tenth of a second on our previous best, and we're making our way now on the back straight, going up towards turn 2, which feeds into the right hand hairpin of turn 3, braking bang on the 100-metre board down to second gear, pick up your apex, and then plenty of patience here in terms of picking up the throttle and the traction on the exit. To be fair, I lost my advantage, but we pulled it back thanks to some decent traction as we now look at the 100-metre board, brake just after it, down to 4th gear, then later on down to 3rd to get the car rotated for turn 4 on the power early on. Patience through turn 5 as we go into turn 6. 50-metre board as a reference, brake, turn in, pick up the throttle really early here. You can actually go really early on the throttle, and it actually helps rotate the car as we now go through the next left. And finally we've got 2 more corners to go here, turns 9 and 10. First of all, turn 9, let's see how we tackle this. 7th gear, possibly 6th gear, there we go, just to get the car rotated. And finally the final corner here, 5th gear action. Again, lucky to not get a track extend warning as we go across the line and we jump up into 8th place and just about get through. Not a massive improvement compared to the super softs, but it is enough to see us through into the final part of qualifying. Speaking of which, we went out for 2 runs. We had 2 sets of ultra softs available to us thanks to a successful qualifying session, and our first attempt wasn't actually that bad. It's a pretty decent lap, a solid banker, and we go P7 just behind Brendan Hartley there, but ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. But we got for our second run in Q3, my best lap of the entire weekend. So let's run on board here. First of all, turn 1, just after the 100 meter ball down to 4th gear. Pick up the throttle as soon as you can. It's going to really change how much time you're going through that first corner, and also attack that first curb quite a bit. Avoid the curb on the exit. Turn 2 into turn 3, yet again 100 meter ball down to the 2nd gear and pick up your apex. I actually went a little bit too deep on the brakes, but I do get the car rotated quite quickly and they get the nose turn in. So we're currently about 10th and a half up here, and it's a very strong first sector as we make our way now into turn number 4. 4th gear again, down to 3rd eventually for the rotation, tapping the curb on the inside for some extra turning and on the power very early on here as we go through 5 into turn 6. Again, we're going to really throw the car in here and get the power down really early. Short shift to 6, get the rotation as we now go into turn 7 here through the left, and then that will feed into the right of 8, getting a nice bit of exit, nice tight line there to maximise lap time as we go into the final 2 corners here. First of all, turn 9, 7th gear rotation on the curb using 6th gear as well, and then finally the final corner, really attacking that curb on the inside and opening up the DRS for a lap of the Austria circuit. And we improve by a 10th and a half, but that takes us from 8th place to a fantastic 3rd place, and that is the best qualifying of the season without a shadow of a doubt. A great session for us. 3rd place on the grid. It should have been 2nd if I just got a little bit more finesse on the lap and not run deep into turn 3. But all in all, a great session, and we go again tomorrow in the race on Sunday. It's time for the Austrian Grand Prix. Let's get it.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Kimi Räikkönen starts today from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Martinez, Gasly, Sebastian Vettel, and Hartley, Ricciardo, Ocon, Bottas, and Lance Stroll, Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Marcus Ericsson, and Leclerc, Perez, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, and Roman Grosjean. Sirotkin and Stoffel Van Dorn completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Right, so here we are on the grid at the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian Grand Prix. It's the team's home race. The pressure is on. First of all, disclaimer, I have a confession to make. It's the 2nd time I've recorded this race. I literally recorded the entire 36 laps about 15 minutes ago, and my recording software let me down because it basically wouldn't let me stop recording, so I just had to hard close the program, and therefore I've corrupted the footage on purpose because I can't do nothing about it. Basically, it wouldn't stop recording, so I'm gonna have to do it again a 2nd time. So I'm not very happy at the moment, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully I can have a good race. Now, I'm not going to give anything away. However, before this, I did say it in the original recording, I do feel confident around here because you saw in qualifying, it's the best qualifying of the season. We've got great pace, and I really want to do well. Now, from P3 on the grid, the pressure's on. Raikkonen's in first. He's on the super softs. He's going to have the preference when it comes to strategy. However, we have a good choice as well. The one stop around here is the way to go because of traffic and also just general racecraft. So we're going to go long on the ultras and try and go into the softs and make those last. I might go into the softs 1 lap earlier than predicted on the strategy because looking at the tyre wear, the ultras do seem to go away quite quick at the end. But all in all, fuel-wise, we're 2 laps heavier, and hopefully we can have a good race. Now, I can say in the failed attempt, well, not the failed attempt, the attempt that I successfully recorded that went wrong right at the end, I did actually win the race. So I'll be kind of angry if it doesn't happen again, so there's extra pressure for me to perform. So with that being said, let's jump into it here for round 9 for the Red Bull team's home race and the Red Bull Ring. Here we go. It's the Austrian Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. Let's gear up for the 5 red lights here at Austria, round 9 of the season. And we are underway here, and it's a great start. Really good reaction to the 5 lights as we go over to the inside into turn 1, covering off the inside. Gasly looking for a move on the outside there. We're kind of locked on at the moment. Still locked on here. Gasly squeezing me right onto the grass. and he goes around the outside to my left. We're going to go late on the brakes though. We're going to return the favour because Gasly's been a little bit, you know, tight for space. So we're going to squeeze him onto the curb there, make him get a poor bit of traction on the exit. That allows me to power back past and retake third place. Gasly though coming back at me again here. I'm going defensive, covering the inside line. Side by side to turn 4, lock up on the right front, but we get it slowed down in time for the fourth corner, and we're back up into third place, back up to our starting position, and now we can try and work on chasing after the front two. I feel confident in my pace here today. I think we can do it. My race pace has always been traditionally stronger than my qualifying pace, so let's see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. It's a long race, 36 laps ahead of us. Let's delve our teeth into this and let's see if we can put on a show here for the home fans and the home faithful in this Red Bull race. Right then, there's a bit of a breakaway now. The top 5 pulling away here, and we are now extremely close to Lewis. That final sector is where my strongest point of the lap is. We're still in a hot lap here. We haven't actually turned the engine down at all. First lap of the Grand Prix from me there. DRS now enabled as we go through turn 1 onto lap 3. Raikkonen's going to be very vulnerable in that Ferrari as myself and Lewis have DRS. I've just got enough of a gap to Gasly that I don't think Pierre has DRS. So here we go into turn 3. Lewis goes for the outside on Kimi here. We're going to go for the switchback, focus on the exit, get the power down. The Toro Rossos are battling behind us, so that's going to help us out. Alonso, sorry, what am I saying? Alonso, what am I on about? Hamilton goes to the outside of Raikkonen, a little bit of contact there, and they're still side by side. Hamilton trying to take the lead of the race on the ultra softs. Raikkonen struggling to switch on the super soft compound tyres as we go around the outside, trying to take a bit of a switchback line to gain on these guys. Lewis gets to move on for first place. Raikkonen demoted to second, and we are all over the back of the Iceman here towards the end of lap 3. Let's see what happens. I'm keeping a keen eye on Ricciardo as well because I want to see him do well. In the fouled attempt, Ricciardo came second. We actually got a 1-2, so I'm kind of hoping that Ricciardo can pull through again. Meanwhile, back onto the live action. This 5-car scrap's going to get very fierce here with the Toro Rossos. Raikkonen coming back at Hamilton there with a swing right back underneath into turn 1. We get the switchback on Kimi here. Can I pull across and get Lewis's toe? Yes, we do, but Raikkonen's going to go for the move. It's going to be 3 wide into turn 3 here. Who's the bravest on the brakes? We're going to go very late up the inside. A little bit of first gear action there. Raikkonen going all the way around the outside. We're going to pick up the DRS again. Drag race with the Ferrari man down to turn 4. Come on, we got this. Late on the brakes. Very late on the brakes. A little bit too late, actually. We lock up, and Raikkonen switches right back underneath me and takes the position back. Wow, what a scrap this has been so far. Raikkonen back into first, but that's not going to last too long. I know I've got the pace, and I'm fast in this final sector. Alonso out of the race. Actually is Alonso this time, I can confirm. Here we go though, into the final couple of corners. This is where I'm going to really close up the gap to Kimi. Also, Gasly and the Toro Rosso looking extremely fast on the straight. We're just going to focus on our exit here. Really attack that final corner. Open up the exit. DRS now open here. Here we go. Getting the momentum on Kimi. Rich Mix engaged. Into turn 1. Up the inside. And we're way too hot on the brakes and we run deep. We're going to have to yield the position here and give that one back to Kimi. Unfortunately, I can't take that. Unfortunately though, here comes Gasly. We've let ourselves exposed into turn 3. I got another car on the inside here maybe. I'm going to switch underneath. Oh yes, look at the momentum and the traction there. We power past Gasly and Raikkonen. This time I'm going to make sure we convert this. Taking a bit more of a precautious approach on the brakes. Gasly on the outside, I'm going to squeeze him right out there and not let him have a look. My former teammate. And we're into first place in this race. What an explosive first 5 laps of this Grand Prix, but we're finally in first place. Now, can we try and shake these guys off? Let's crank up the engine modes here, and let's try and break away from these guys. It's been a massively strong lap from me here. We've broken away. We've shaken off the DRS gap to Gasly, and now Pierre is engaged in a battle with Kimi Raikkonen. I've also cooked my tyres a bit, so I've got to be careful, but it's a strong lap, and it's another fast lap of the Grand Prix, 106.2 there. Extremely fast pace, 2.5 seconds to Gasly behind. But having said that, I've cooked my tyres. When I've looked now, and as you can see, the rear left on 103 Celsius, that's the limit. So we need to try and cool off now and try and drive a bit more of a reduced pace to try and bring the tyres back down to temperature. Okay, Pierre Gasly comes in. A very early stop from the Toro Rosso man. I'm not sure if that's going to be one-stop territory. Either way, we've got a nice little gap behind us here. Ocon and Raikkonen battling away. and we're really starting to establish our dominance now. So right now I've just got the rear left under control, and I've got it hovering on 102 to 103. So we're doing a good job keeping it all under control now, and it's all about managing tyres until lap 13, which is when we come into the pit lane. So I'm kind of waiting for a car now to get going in this Grand Prix, because I know he's got good pace. I've seen it before, so I kind of want him to try and put his finger out a bit and see if he can make something happen in the other car.
Daniel's in the pits.
Okay, Ricciardo in the pit lane. That's an early stop. Still within one stop territory just about. He'd have to go very long on that second stint, but he could make it happen. Meanwhile, my left rear is getting a bit hot. I had it on yellow just through turn 1. I've just managed to get under control a little bit, but I've got to be careful and actually to take a little bit slower this lap and actually purposely slow down a bit. Right, tyre temps back under control. Also, I've now gone into hot lap ERS because I've lost a little bit of time to Ocon and Raikkonen, so I want to not re-establish a gap but maintain the gap as it is and avoid undercuts. So we should be able to be okay to keep it in a hot lap now until we come in at the end of the next lap. So let's do that. Right, here we go then, into the pit lane. It's been a strong stint, but we're now going to turn the engine modes down. Oh, a bit sideways into the pit lane there, just how we like it. A bit of grass action, there we go, maximising the pit entry at all times. Getting it slowed down, there we go. Right, Ocon's right behind us, so it's going to be a pit stop battle here with the Force India man. We're relying on a good stop from the crew. There we go, look at that, 2.1. That was efficient work, and also my timing to pull away the clutch pedal was impeccable. The best I've probably ever done it. That was so well timed. We're going to rejoin here. It's going to be close with Kevin Magnussen in the Haas. He's probably just going to come out ahead of us, unfortunately. I'm going to get the hammer down straight away. There he is, just behind Magnussen. Rich mix in hot lap mode engaged straight away. I'm going to go early on the brakes here and wait for the move to the last second. There we go. Now up the inside, we're going to get DRS. That's going to allow me to pull away from Ocon, who's behind these guys. Here we go. Going to cover off the inside. Right, that's okay. We should be pretty okay with that. Make sure we get it down to the apex. Tyres are still a bit cold. And there we go. Right, P7. Pit stop done and dusted. Having said that, this move ain't done and dusted. Magnussen's come back at me, but we go clean around the outside. All that Red Bull downforce paying dividends for us. And we get back ahead. Now we can try and get the hammer down. And let's try and pull away if we can. We've got a chance to break away from Ocon here, so let's make it count. There's Kimi in the pit lane. He's going on to softs as well. So he hasn't really gone that much longer on our set of supers, to be fair. And his performance wasn't that great on that tyre. But we're back out ahead of Kimi. And Kimi's behind Ocon again. So we're now in P6. Not bad. Right, Ocon's got the move done, but he's out of my DRS as I do a purple final sector. I've also just about got DRS on Nico Hulkenberg here, so that's going to help me out. I reckon we can actually maybe get a move into turn 4 here. Let's close up the gap first of all. Into turn 3. Focus on getting a good exit. On the power early on. There we go. Right, how much do we have on a straight on this Renault? Do we have enough in the tank? Overtake engaged? Not quite. But we are bloody fast around this circuit, and I'm very impressed with the car and how it's handling around here. So easy to drive. So effortless. I'm going to try and focus on getting the switch back here. Ericsson slow out the corner. There it is. Beautiful stuff. Hulkenberg has no DRS. He's going to be a sitting duck. We're going to go to the left hand side. Try and get this one done before the brake zone if possible. Perfect. That's exactly what we needed to stay ahead of Ocon, because he was really closing me down there because I was losing so much time behind those guys. Let's try and get past Sirotkin as well. There we go. Impeccable stuff. Sirotkin actually comes in, so we're going to get that free pass, and we're actually going to get some DRS as a free souvenir, which is great. So into second place now. Ocon is getting released into clean air, but he's got Raikkonen for company, and Ericsson isn't letting him go just yet. So that's going to help me out. We get to continue to extend that gap. Ocon is actually battling with Ericsson, and also Raikkonen now has caught up to him. So this is perfectly timed for us. Gasly's in the lead on the super soft. So the guys who came in earlier on in the Grand Prix, if you remember on that aggressive strategy, he's on those super softs. They might be fading now, so we're going to start catching him up here. But we're half race distance, and pretty much in the net race here, Gasly will have to stop again. So it's all looking pretty damn good so far, and I feel comfortable, and the car feels great. Ocon's catching me slightly, so we're going to once again pick up the engine modes here and try and set a couple of strong laps to maintain that gap. Right, strong lap, 105.8, very, very strong pace. and that's going to do Ocon no favours at all. Gap now up to 4.3. I'm kind of relying on Raikkonen battling with him.
Daniel's in for his stop.
And Daniel is in on a 2-stopper, so interesting. In my failed attempt, Daniel did a 1-stop and basically matched my strategy and had much better race pace than what he's had this race. So disappointed in that, but either way, we'll continue on. We're in the lead, let's bring this one home. Gazzy will stop probably this lap, so tyres are getting towards the danger zone here. 102 on the left rear. Just got to start managing that tyre now. And there we go, Pierre comes in for his final stop. We officially inherit the race lead now. And we've got about 13 laps to go, so let's bring this one home. It's looking very much under control here. Ocon trying to catch me. He's dragging Raikkonen with him. I just need him to battle. Right now, Raikkonen can't get close enough to the Force India on the straights to really overtake him, which is kind of frustrating, and also a credit to how good and strong Force India really are and how powerful their car is on the straights. Right then, Ocon's closing the gap a bit. I've got a full battery, so we're going to redeploy it here and try and keep that gap, if not extend it slightly. My tyres have cooled down to 100 degrees on the left rear, so I can now push again. So let's do that. Lap 27, we lap a Haas in the pit lane there. Back down to medium ERS to save the battery and also save a little bit of tyres. Yellow flag is Sector 2 there. And
Some
Brennan,
information on Hartley. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car.
unfortunate one for Brennan Hartley. He's out of the race in the Toro Rosso. And that is the second retirement of the Grand Prix after Alonso retiring earlier on. Very unfortunate there for the Kiwi, but he is out of the Austrian Grand Prix. This is not ideal. Grosjean behind me, who I just lapped, is faster than me, and I'm not sure. I'm guessing he's on a set of Ultra Softs, and he's going to try and unlap himself because he's so much faster than me on those fresh tyres. This is going to be very awkward. I'm going to let him go, but it's going to cost me time. I need him to get this move done, and he's hesitating. Come on, Roman, pull away, please. I need him to pull away. Come on. Nope, Grosjean's got the blue flag. We're going to have to pass him. Hopefully he stays behind this time. Come on. Hopefully, I'm kind of hoping Ocon here forces him to get the blue flag. That would kind of really help me out at the moment. And there we go. Grosjean's pulled over for Ocon, so that helps me. However, he's pulled out in a beautiful position for Ocon to lose absolutely no time behind him. And all in all, Ocon's really closed the gap up to me now. 6 laps to go, 1.2 the gap. This isn't over yet. Right, gap to Ocon just over a second, but I think he has DRS. I'm kind of relying on Grosjean now to return the favour and do to Ocon what Grosjean he did to me. But I can see Ocon's just completely leaving that Haas for dead on a straight line. Ridiculous straight line speed in that Pink Panther, and we've got our work cut out to keep that car behind us. Right, I'm going to be on the back foot here. Ocon's coming at me fast, very fast. That Force India is ridiculous. Up the inside, I'm going to have DRS. I'm going to squeeze Ocon out. Aggressive defensive maneuver, but it has to be done. That car is stupid in a straight. Like, it's actually stupid how fast it is. It's a genuine rocket ship that just flies up to the back of you. Also, I've just realised Grosjean's actually overtaken Ocon, so thank you very much. That will do. Ocon's out of DRS. So I mean, he's got Grosjean as DRS, but he's 1.3 behind. That will do me very nicely. Right, I've had enough of this. It's hammer time. I'm going to try and go for a big push. Hot lap DRS engage. I'm going to try and test Ocon's resolve here and break him if I can. Super strong end to the lap from me. Personal best 105.7. Look at that. Okay, Grosjean gets out of the way again in the exact same spot. We've got to make this gap count now. Hopefully Ocon doesn't get DRS this time. That would be critical, and I don't think he has. I think that might have been it. I think he's far enough away that he won't have DRS. He's 1.6 behind. There we go. That might be the break we needed. Here we go then. Final couple of corners. It's been a very intense and quick Austrian Grand Prix here at the Red Bull Ring, but through the final couple of corners, we've deserved this one. We've been the best person on the track, and I think we deserved it after qualifying, and after this race we deserve it. We win at the Red Bull Ring. What a race, and my first ever victory as a Red Bull driver. We've well and truly turned it around, and the championship fight is on.
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for Red Bull today. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs.
and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
So here come our winning drivers today, and what a race it was. There's been a big push at the factory lately to get these cars ready, and we can see the fruits of that labour today as Red Bull lift the winner's trophy.
There we have it then. We win at the Red Bull Ring. Finally, whew, that pressure's off, you know, big sigh of relief. Very happy with that, and I can't complain. We deserved that one, I think. You know, we was quick, we was great in qualifying, all around just the best package. The car was fantastic to drive, and overall I really enjoyed that race. The best race so far this season, and the most enjoyable one, that's for sure. We beat Ocon to first place, along with Raikkonen on the podium. Pierre Gasly fourth ahead of Sergio Perez. Lewis Hamilton P6. Lance Stroll P7 in the Williams, fantastic race from him. Daniel Ricciardo on the 2-stopper, P8, not too bad. Could have been a lot better on the 1-stop, I think, in my opinion. Nico Hülkenberg and Sergei Sorokin lock out the points. Sorokin scoring a point as well, and actually double points finished there for Williams. Good stuff for those guys who are really on the upturn. And Sebastian Vettel, the championship leader, P12. That's massive for the championship. Bottas P14. And further down the order, Alonso and Hartley do retire. In terms of the standings, though, we jump up into third place. Perez is currently in second. Ricciardo drops down to P5 as we actually overtake him. And the gap to Vettel at the top is now down to 41 points. And who knows, our championship challenge might just be starting to come to life here after a great race here in Austria. But we're not going to get too ahead of ourselves. We've still got a lot of work to do to develop this car. And Ferrari, to be fair, are not really upgrading at the moment, so we've got a chance. In terms of the constructors, though, we jump up into second place, or should I say we stay in second place, and we actually extend the gap to Force India slightly, and also cut down the gap a little bit to Ferrari. But all in all, a great race here today, guys. A really enjoyable one. But we're now going to move into the laptop and continue to pile on the upgrades going into the next race for the British Grand Prix.
It doesn't get much better than a win at this track, does it? You must be thrilled to be up on the podium. You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret? What do you think made the difference between this weekend and last weekend? Appreciate your time.
Right, so here we are on the laptop now. First things first, I think it's worth looking at the rivalry here. Extremely close. We are 1 point ahead of Ocon, and we are 1 point behind Ricciardo, so it's very close. Hopefully we win both of those rivalries. Now, in terms of the R&D tree, let's have a little look and see what we can do. Now, as you can see, Force India are the strongest team. We have no upgrades pending, and it's a fierce development race. Everyone's pushing on hard here, and it's kind of... the pack's getting close again. If you go back to last season, if you go back a little bit here, you'll see last year's pack. You kind of got Haas and Renault in the middle. Then you've got the top 5 of Mercedes, Force India, Ferrari, Red Bull, Toro Rosso, and then you have the bottom 3 of Sauber, Williams, and McLaren. But now it's McLaren that are just so far down. Sauber are just about keeping up, but Williams have integrated themselves in a midfield battle with Renault and Haas, and both Renault and Haas and Williams are all catching Mercedes. And at the same time, those guys are actually still just about keeping in touch with the front 4, and Ferrari just starting to drop away now. So it's almost becoming a top 8 in many ways, and it's starting to get very close. But a little bit of analysis aside, let's delve into the R&D tree now. We only got that 25% race bonus, which makes a big difference to the amount of things we can purchase at one time. So with that in mind, the next race is Silverstone. It's my home race, one that I want to perform at. Therefore, I want to go for a major upgrade, but I can only get a minor if I want it for the next race. I have to choose wisely because obviously there's a lot of things to choose from here. Now, on the chassis side of things, I want to do one. However, they're all major ones. So we're going to go either aero or engine. Engine-wise, we are the 4th best engine. We've kind of dropped away a bit. In terms of the aero, we're 5th best, so it's even worse. So, with that said, we're going to delve into the aero, and we're going to get an upgrade on the car, hopefully, to reduce the drag. So, the chassis is looking strong now. That's where we are ridiculously strong in the chassis department. You can see for yourselves. So, it's time to focus on engine and aero, especially the aero. The aero needs a little bit of work. It's a part of the car that you'd expect Red Bull to be, strong at. So, yeah, hopefully in the next race we can try and add on some more engine upgrades. But, it's going to be a steep one. The engine upgrades, they're 1,000 points for a minor, so they're extremely expensive. So we're going to try and commit to aero for now and see if we can try and improve that, and also maybe get some chassis ones down the line. I mean, look at the chassis. The major upgrades cost me almost as much as a minor on the engine, so we might have to keep making the chassis stronger and stronger. Either way, guys, hopefully you enjoy this episode of Career Mode. If you have, then please do drop a like on the video. Also, do get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content. Turn on notifications to not miss a single video from me. And finally, check out these 2 videos on screen if you have missed them. But other than that, thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in my next episode very soon. Goodbye.